for us here at Central, it is really to experience different cultures, and the entrepreneurial side of things is quite interesting to us. Really looking forward to being part of a great meeting and learning from everybody here. Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you. So I think we will go to Manju, because our Legion of Entrepreneur Club, do we have a representative from the Indian club?
Hello, I am Toastmaster Mukti from League of Entrepreneurs Toastmaster Club.
Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. So I'm going to give the stage to Manju so we could kick off our meeting today. Thank you so much. So Manju, are you ready to go?
Am I audible? Hello. Yeah. Thank you, Eddie. And so here we are about to start our meeting. So, exactly 8 years ago, when we chartered a club in Dubai, all the ExCo members, we printed posters, flyers, and I created a list of community members, residential buildings, schools, offices, restaurants, lobbies, hotels, and started publishing our posters and started publishing the posters and flyers driving up all the way up there and putting up them and distributing them just 8 years ago. But today, if you say this to somebody else, people will laugh at you. That's the impact of social media. If you are not there in the social media, you are not alive. Be it business or as a person. So some statistics states that around 4 million people are members of LinkedIn. Three people are recruited from LinkedIn every minute. And this was something like a mission started by great leaders like Mark Zuckerberg or Reid Hoffman and team of LinkedIn, the social media leaders. So as leaders and founders, what is the vision do you have for the next 5 years? Toastmasters, founders and leaders, I repeat, what is your vision as a leader? So if you can, please put in your thoughts in the chat box. We have 60 odd people out there. We may not be able to know from each other, but definitely we can read out from the chat box. Meanwhile, Bharat has something to say about this question. Please feel free to continue adding in your comments in the chat box.
My vision is to have one world, all connected together.
One world,
all connected
together.
No boundaries, no geopolitics politics. It's all one world, one universe.
Let's see, what do we have in the chat box? Anybody to share something in the chat box? Anybody can unmute and speak as well. Do you have a vision for the next 5 years or less than 5 years? What is that?
Can I?
Yes.
Hey, Bharat here. So first of all, there are two Bharats, so you can keep on addressing Bharat Nangia and myself as Bharat P. So for 5 years, I'll just keep it a very short phrase. beyond digital transformation. We have been hearing that for a decade almost. Now we need to think a step ahead. That's all.
It's very interesting. Very interesting. So as you go ahead, if you wish to share your vision, please put it in the chat box. I'm still listening to you through the chat box while we are conducting our session. So going ahead, we have a facilitator team who is helping us with the entire proceedings of the meeting. So I would like to introduce the role players and the facilitators of today. We have our VPPR, Choi Chan as Zoom Master. Choi, would you be able to explain the role Zoom Master?
Yes, yeah, Zoom is now everyone's life. So I think a lot of people are not unfamiliar with it. But new as a Zoom Master for Toastmasters is to spotlight the speaker when they are having their turn and to make sure that everyone is admitted and having the right title. So I'm working hard behind the scenes. Over to you, Manju.
Thank you, Choi. Without you, we wouldn't have a smooth meeting today. So our next facilitator is an R-counter, and this is definitely someone I need help with, and he is Mukti. Mukti, can you explain your role?
Good afternoon and good evening, all the Toastmasters and guests present here. My job and responsibility is to look for filler words like so on, as, when, and on, and count them. I will present when called upon to do so at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mukti. That was quite an interesting way of presenting it. Our next facilitator is a grammarian. TTM Coin has taken up this role. Coin, can you explain the role of grammarian or the language evaluator?
Certainly. Yes. Certainly. That's one possible. The role of the grammarian is to provide a word of the day so that people in the meeting can use this word as often as possible. And the word of the day is inception. Now, it is a noun. It means there are two meanings. First, the beginning of an organization or official activity. For example, since its inception in 1968, the company has been at the forefront of computer development. Number two, in science fiction, yes, the act of instilling an idea into someone's mind by entering his or her dreams. For example, in the 2010 movie Inception, same name, Leonardo DiCaprio planted an idea in another man's mind. The other role of the language evaluator is to watch out for the use of good and not so good language. And I shall give a report at the end, a short one. Thank you.
Thank you, Koyan. Our last facilitator, but not the least and the most important, is the timer. We have Lillian from Central Club to help us on this task. Lillian, may I request you to explain the role?
Hi everyone, I'm Lillian. Today I'm glad to be the timer to help everyone to time the speeches time. Everyone knows that we have the signature card, like the green card, yellow card, and the red card to show the time whether you have passed certain period of the moment. So I have prepared some cue card for everyone today, and here you are. And here's some drawing that I try to make because I want to show you my little efforts to that. So this is representing the green cards by using the clover flower. That means everyone gets some luck. You pass the speech and then you are not over time and you manage the time very well. And then we have the yellow heart here. This one is the yellow heart. It also means that when you have some second left, and I will also show you the yellow card. And for the red card, it means the time is up. So here you can see the sun is representing the red card, and we also have some grace time here. I hope that everyone can notice the card, and then I will show you more about that. So for example, we have some speeches today, which is a longer speech like Steve Bruce speeches 30 to 14 minutes. So if it is too long, I will show you this card. So maybe I try to type more time rules in the chat box so that everyone can notice more. Thank you.
Thank you, Lillian. That's excellent. Indeed, quite an artistic work. And I'm looking forward to your help throughout. So coming back, we have a lot of vision statements on the chat box. We have Jessica messaging, my vision is to become happier, earn XXX amount and lose 6 kilos. I like the specifics. I'm sure that will work magic for you, Jessica. Our own Neres says, she says, connected all the way from Netherlands. My vision is to have a truly global network. Lion says, I want to become a Dolly Parton of times in Hong Kong. And Eddie, obviously, I can understand this. President Eddie says, I wish to travel safely. Yes, so going ahead, we have more vision coming up, but I do not want to hold on the curiosity you have. What's next? What's next? A Hong Kong-based LinkedIn trainer, an SME marketing consultant, 30+ years international advertising agency, sales, marketing, consultancy experience. He helps growing companies to tell their story in a clear, powerful way. Tagline is marketing that makes sense. And let's see, what is his vision? Helping senior executives, business owners, and corporate teams. He has personally generated over 2.5 million HKD in revenue directly from LinkedIn. Who is that? Please put your hands together to welcome our guest of the day, the speaker of the day, Steve Bruce. Welcome, Steve.
Hello, welcome. Okay, so just give me a second to get all sorted out here. So we're going to. Okay, so right, so everyone can see the screen okay?
Yep.
Okay, everyone can see my smiling face? Right, so
Yes.
let's get going. So right, so today we're going to focus on a few things. LinkedIn is all about connecting opportunity. So the three major takeaways from today's session are, first of all, I'm going to show you some data to support the power of LinkedIn and show you why it's an essential B2B business tool. Then I'm going to show you the correct way that you can connect with clients. And then finally, how to use LinkedIn better. Now, a bit of housekeeping before we start. If you do have any questions, please hold them to the end. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of the time, people's questions, it disrupts the flow of the presentation. And also, often you'll find that I do cover a question during the presentation. Now, I say you can either type it in the chat box or you can wait till the end and just ask me. I'll be happy to answer your question there. So, yeah, the main point of today is we're going to talk about LinkedIn jail as well. Now, a little bit about me. I've got over 30 years of international advertising, sales, and marketing experience. I live in Hong Kong. This week is my silver jubilee of living in Hong Kong. It's going to be on Friday. That'll be well, actually, it's tomorrow, the 13th of January. Arrived in 13th of January, 97. So that's going to be 25 years. I've had my own company for about 20 years now. Fun fact, I used to work for a company in London called CIA, not the actual CIA. Yeah. I have trained over 2,000 people now, so hopefully that qualifies me to talk to you today. So LinkedIn works on a concept called the 4 pillars of success. Now, the first pillar of success is to create an all-star or fully completed LinkedIn profile. The second pillar of success is that you need to know how to use LinkedIn to identify, target, and connect with budget-holding, decision-making level target clients. The third pillar of success is that you need to be active on the site. And that means like, comment, and share other people's posts, as well as sharing interesting content of your own. Now, only when you do these 3 things in this order will you achieve the 4th pillar of success, which is build strong relationship with your client. Now, today we're going to be focusing on pillar number 2, which is knowing how to identify, target, and connect budget-holding, decision-making level target clients. Now, LinkedIn has a mission statement, quite simple: to connect the world's professionals and to make them more productive and successful. So good to know that they're on our side. Now, LinkedIn was started on the 5th of May, 2003. 5th of May is a nice day because it's my birthday. So I've been enjoying that birthday present ever since then. Now, today, there are about 740 million users on LinkedIn in over 200 countries, available in 24 different languages. Now, the average LinkedIn user is 46 years old, earns about 60,000 Hong Kong dollars a month. They're about almost 60% male, just over 40% female. Age breakdown, about 20% Gen Z. Notable that Gen Zs are the fastest growing group of new LinkedIn users. About 60% are Gen Ys. About another 16% are a mix of Gen Y and Gen X. The remaining 3% are the Gen X's or older. So these tend to be the guys that are going to be like CEOs and managing directors of companies. In Asia, there are over 2 million users. Almost 30% are based in Asia. 40% are in the professional, manager, and executive population. And if you're in Hong Kong, you're in luck, because half of the professional, manager, executive population is on LinkedIn in Hong Kong. That makes up, there's about 2.5 million users there. Now, LinkedIn, according to the Business Insider Business Trust Ranking, Digital Trust Ranking, been going since 2017. LinkedIn is the #1, and it's been the winner since the survey started in 2017. Worth noting that YouTube and Facebook are the least trusted networks. So there you go, just for information. Now, a third of business decision makers use their network to find suppliers on LinkedIn. 95% of all of the Fortune 500 companies in the world are on LinkedIn. 3/4 of business decision makers use social media to evaluate their suppliers. It's essential that you're visible when a client types your name into Google, you're showing up and you're managing what's written online about you. Now, almost 100% of business marketers use LinkedIn. Almost 80% say that they find it highly effective as a business tool. But the thing is that these clients are already 90% on their way to making a business decision before they contact you, buying decision, sorry. So if you're not influencing them at an earlier stage, you're almost certainly missing out on valuable opportunities. And in this market, we can't afford to do that. But the worst part is that you probably don't even know that you're missing out. You're simply not getting the call. Now, over 90% of business decision makers, according to data from LinkedIn, say that they're happy to connect with a salesperson that is a known industry thought leader. So For example, making yourself appear to the market as an industry thought leader, offering useful content on a regular basis is very good for your business. The goal here is to make sure that your clients don't think of you as a supplier. They think of you as a partner. So when I used to do sales, I used to run a sales team before. My strategy was I'm drinking buddies with the CEO, and I'm very friendly with him. So when he comes in the office, everybody takes notice, and you get to the point where you're inside the circle of trust, where he's asking you questions. When he's looking for a move himself, he confides in you. If he's looking for staff, he confides in you. He's asking about his team members, he confides in you. So you actually become friends with them. Now, you may know that LinkedIn was in China, but it's not anymore. Effective 31st of December last year, LinkedIn is not in China anymore. They downgraded their site to a job site. And in fact, I looked on there the other day just to see it. It's not even advertising jobs at the moment. Very sad. The only real losers are the Chinese people, because most of the people on LinkedIn in China are looking to target companies outside of China. So those who still need to use it won't be stopped. They'll simply use a VPN. But I think in the end, LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft. It was getting a lot of trouble from the China government and also from Western governments about censorship, and so they've just decided to pull out, which is regrettable. It really is. And what that means is that we had about 800 million users. And that number's now dropped down to about 740 million users. So it's a shame. Now LinkedIn continues to grow. Their target is 3 billion users. Now, the top 3 reasons why we should use LinkedIn. Well, the first one is to present ourselves powerfully to the market. An industry thought leader and an expert in our field. The second one is to get business. Finally, of course, the most well-known one, find a job. And LinkedIn is not just about finding a job. Now, almost 100% of business decision makers do not accept cold calls. It's widely proven that cold calling is the most ineffective way. I had a cold call today, very persistent man from New York calling me up. In the end, I just ignored his call and hung up. He called me once. And I don't know how these guys make money. I really don't. This is such an inefficient and ineffective way of generating business leads. Now, almost 45% of business decision makers use their network to find suppliers. So if you're going to, and indeed in Asia, we do like to use our network. Think about it. If you want to find a photographer, you'll ask your friend, oh, who knows a good photographer? You would ask the Toastmasters network. If you want to get a website done, you're going to ask your network, who's worked with a website? Say if you knew one of your friends had a new website built recently, you're going to say, hey, who did you work with? Were they any good? Can you refer me? We really love this style of doing business in Asia. It's definitely the Asian way. And that is how it's done on LinkedIn as well. People want to work with someone who's already known, liked, and trusted by the network. And the thing is, almost half of business decision makers will research suppliers on LinkedIn. Another half say that they will not do business, they will avoid doing business with people who don't have a strong LinkedIn profile. And to that point, one of my clients is PwC. I ran a workshop for them before, and the client that hired me for that workshop told me that his PA is under strict instructions not to take meetings with people who don't have a strong LinkedIn profile and they're not active on the site. He said, basically, if they don't care enough about their own personal brand to be active on the site, then they're probably not a good fit for PwC. So this is how seriously big companies are taking it now. So again, if you don't have a strong LinkedIn profile, if you're not active on the site, you're almost certainly missing out on potentially big client business like that. Now, almost 3/4 of business decision makers prefer a warm introduction. Again, as we said before, they're very happy to talk to you with a thought leader. They're looking to be referred. And indeed, these referred leads convert 5 times higher than a normal cold lead. So this is the best way to get this. We already know this. LinkedIn gives us the ideal platform to do that. Now, LinkedIn is the best site for sourcing B2B leads. More than 60%, according to this research on demand, where over 60% are sourced business from it. Less than 40% on Facebook, less than 35% from Twitter, YouTube really low at just 17%, just 5% of Instagram, which is, you may be surprised about. Pinterest and Snapchat, no surprise there, B2B leads, not really working. Now, the key point here is that a lot of people put a lot of effort into posting on YouTube and Instagram, thinking that they're going to get leads. And time again, I speak with my clients and they're very active, making videos, posting every day. And when I actually say to them, yeah, well, how many leads have you got from those channels? They'll tell me generally none. So the data's borne out here. So basically, if you're looking for B2B leads, it's important to fish where the fish are, and that is on LinkedIn. But overall, 80% of all B2B leads come from LinkedIn. Now, why do we need LinkedIn? Well, unfortunately for you, you are whoever Google says you are. Your client is definitely going to type your name into Google before they do business with you. And your LinkedIn profile is the #1 organic hit on LinkedIn. Try doing it yourself, you'll see that. Now, based on that, doesn't it make sense to take charge of that? If you don't control your own personal brand on Google, then Mr. Google will do it for you. And then you're giving up control of a potentially very powerful way to manage your personal brand. Now, your client is going to click on your LinkedIn account because it's a #1 hit, and they're going to look there. So why not populate it properly and fill it all out, make them feel like Sherlock Holmes, that they learn a whole bunch of stuff about it. There are only 3 people who go to page 2 of Google. The first one is students. The second one is lawyers. And the third one is the police. If you're not on page 1 of Google, you're absolutely missing out. And you really need to be at the top of the search engine rankings of your client searching for you. LinkedIn offers you superior SEO and a great way to show up in searches for clients. I also encourage you to populate other social media channels, like having a Twitter account, having a Pinterest account, and this kind of all these things like HKTDC listing on all this kind of stuff. So that when that client types your name into Google, you own page 1 of Google. That's your goal. So it makes them feel reassured that they're dealing with a professional person that's known, liked, and trusted in their industry. Now, why do we need to be on LinkedIn? First of all, we need to show the market that we're professional and successful. We need to show younger clients that we get technology. Remember, the oldest millennial now is about 45. So they are in management positions. They're your target clients. And if you're a bit older, then it's very important that you're showing them that you're still up to date with tech. It's a great way to leverage your network. You never know who your clients know. It's a great way to get business as well and to build strong relationships with your clients and make sure that the market perceives you as professional. Now, I'm a great believer that your network is your net worth. This is a very good book. If you've not read it, I highly recommend you read it. Everybody in Toastmasters will find this book useful. And this is pretty much what I live by. My mum always used to tell me, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And it's good to be the kind of person who's well connected and can get things done. Now, the good news is that year on year, there are 50% more messages happening on LinkedIn than there were. So that's good. But what that does mean is that that it's much harder to get cut through because it's a lot more noisy. You'll have seen on LinkedIn that a lot of people are posting stupid posts about their dog, things their kid did, made up stories about the CEO turned out to be a cat and all this kind of thing. So there's a lot more noise. It's very much more difficult than it was to get cut through and to achieve success by getting through to the market. So it's very important you're focused and you're posting about business-related topics. I suggest that you pick 3 topics that you want to be known as an industry expert for. Understand what your clients' pain points are around those topics, and then address those topics in terms of what's in it for your client. Now, according to LinkedIn, 1 connection on LinkedIn can introduce you to potentially 400 new connections. So if you think about, even if you've just got a 500-person network, that's worth about 60,000, something like that, in terms of people that you could potentially be introduced to. But most people are happy to introduce you, or like if they when you look at someone's profile, you'll look and see how do they look? Who do they know that you know? Are they doing the right sort of job? You want to be connected. So we're going to talk about that more in a minute. Now, you may be familiar as Toastmasters with the concept of 6 degrees of separation. So the 6 degrees of separation algorithm holds that you're 6 degrees away from being connected to Jack Ma directly. Now, LinkedIn has a thing, whether you want to be these days is debatable. Now, LinkedIn works on a 3 degrees of separation algorithm. They have first, second, and third degree connections. So according to the 6 degrees of separation algorithm, it's generally held that most people know 250 people. In your life, you don't really have room for more than 250 people. That includes all of your family members, all of your work colleagues, all your friends, all your acquaintances. You just cannot manage more than 250 people. So based on that number, and the number does vary depending on who you talk to. So based on that number, let's say it's 250. The second degree connection, so that means your friends of friends, that means the person sitting next to you and you have access to 62,500 friends. Add another level onto that, that number jumps up to 15.6 million. So LinkedIn has this first, second, and third degree connections. So what that means is that all of you between you have got access to literally millions and millions and millions of people. So it's really important. We were talking earlier about posting your LinkedIn profiles on the chat. You really all should be connected to each other, and you should all be meeting up to find out what each other does, and in these difficult times supporting each other's business by not just keeping them in mind, but actively thinking about 3 people I can refer to. Like, you know, someone like how BNI works, they want you to actively refer people. And this is how we create good business. Now, how do we connect with a target client? So basically, what have I got here? What I did here, so this is an example. I typed marketing director into the search bar in LinkedIn just a second. Then I said by people, and then I selected just in Hong Kong. The number I get, it's 54,000 marketing directors. I mean, it's 54,000 people in Hong Kong who have marketing director in their work, in their job title. So you will then go through there and you'll take a look and see who's there that's suitable for your industry, and you can narrow it down. The search, all the search function that LinkedIn offers is fantastic, and you can drill down you can search by specific companies if you want to find out, and then you can just start connecting with those people. Now, I did this as a fun experiment. I just looked up Gary Vaynerchuk. Some of you may be aware of Gary Vaynerchuk. He's a very famous entrepreneur, chairman of VaynerMedia. Now, he's got 4.8 billion followers. But because of that, the LinkedIn algorithm has gone to work for me. Turns out we have 7 mutual connections. So I can then look at those 7 mutual connections, and I can see who are they. Would one of them be willing to make an introduction to Gary Vaynerchuk? I actually sent him a connection request. He hasn't accepted it yet, but he hasn't found out who I am. So another example, I was working with a client. Funny enough, they're just up the road from me, a company called Stratasys, the world's largest 3D printing company. And one of their clients was Tesla. So we said, right, okay, we want to find out about, identify the decision maker that we want to talk to at Tesla. So what I can see, if I look at the page here, is that there are 8.1 million followers, 42,000 employees, but there are 6 people that I went to school with who now work at Tesla. So again, it's a bit, so I go in there, I can have a look about that company there. I can just go in and I can say Tesla HR. Let's say I want to get a job at Tesla. So I type Tesla HR into the search box there. Here I can see Ricky is there. Now, Ricky prefers to be followed. Somebody was asking about that earlier. I've already explained about how to get past that. But what I can see with Ricky is that he doesn't have a headshot. But I can see he's got 23,000 followers. Of course, everybody wants to be his friend, right? But he's hiring. But I can see that we have 134 people in common. So what I'll do next is I will look at those 134 people. I'll look at his profile there. Again, this is what we do. Go to that drop-down menu there. We can connect with him here. Now, I can do that and it says here, Ricky prefers to be followed. Well, sorry, Ricky, I'm going to connect with you anyway. I can send them a note. Now, this is the goal from tonight. Whenever you connect with someone, always, always, always send them a note. What I do is I use Word documents. I type them out. This one here, I say I work as an independent LinkedIn trainer in Hong Kong. Great to be connected to you here. And I have that spell checked, ready to go. And I do 5 of those every day. 25 a week, 100 a month, 300 a quarter. Your network starts to grow. So that's part 1. So off we go. Now, the other way I can get an introduction to Ricky is I can see who do I know that's connected to him already. And then I can pick one of those guys and see if there's anyone I know well enough to ask them to introduce them. It might be, if I know someone really well, I will simply call them up and say, like, for example, I know Teddy. I can say, hey, Teddy, I see you know Ricky at Testa. And they'll go, yeah, I know. I say, can you give me his phone number and his email? And they'll go, sure, there you go. You can get it from me. I say, I don't know what you're talking about. Thank you. Bye-bye. And then I can approach him that way. So there are different ways to cut it. Of course, you want to send him an invitation, but also you want to get his email address. Now, of course, people will send you invitations. Now, I will look at these on a case-by-case basis. So I'm pro networking, but I don't accept invitations from anyone. I generally avoid insurance agents, real estate professionals, anyone selling like some crypto things or whatever like that. I'm sorry if you're a real estate professional, insurance agent, or a financial advisor as well. I avoid them. Now, because they just want to mine my network. It's taken me 20 years to build up my network in Hong Kong on LinkedIn, and I'm not about to just let anyone in there. So on the one hand, we want to be pro networking, but on the other hand, we don't want to just let anyone in. So sometimes you'll see on LinkedIn that some people call themselves lions. You'll see in their title that says LION. It's LinkedIn Online Networker. Now these people basically think that bigger is better, that they just want to have a giant network that's pretty useless. They'll accept a connection from anyone. I don't suggest you connect to these people. Salespeople use, and I used to do this myself, so I know from experience, I will connect to a target client and then I will mine his connections. So say, for example, if I want to contact the CEO of UBS Bank, I will connect with him. And once I've got his connection in there, I will then go to his connections and I'll say, hey, I noticed we're both connected as CEO, and then I'll connect with them as well. So this is what salespeople do. So you can use that as a tool yourself, but again, I don't like people doing it to them now. I'm not so much of a sales anymore. So in this case, Jason has invited me to follow his page. I know Jason is a client of mine. So, okay, I will accept it. Paul, I connected to how many? 29 other people. I'll look at his profile and I'll see, is he worth to connect with? I'll do it on a case-by-case basis. This one, it's a lady from China, not even in English. I doubt we can even communicate very well. Less interested to connect with her. Even though we've got 10 other people, I'll still take a look and I'll view it favorably, but I would also take care, especially these days. Now, Stefano, we only had how many? 3 other people in common. But why you should be pro networking? Stefano is my client now on that accepting his connection request. Don't throw the baby out of the bathwater, but at the same time, you do need to be mindful of who we're connecting with. Now, you can also see who you already know on LinkedIn. So there are some easy ways to build up a network. So what we can do is we go to our network there, and we can see it show more here. And we can actually look there, and it will tell us, you can, when you put your email address into LinkedIn, you should use your work email. One of the #1 crimes I find on LinkedIn is that people use their Gmail address as their primary email on LinkedIn. Now, this is the wrong way to do it. Everything you do on LinkedIn is for business reasons. You're representing your company, so it doesn't look very professional, representing your company with a Gmail address. But you do need to have your work email as your primary email, but you also need to have a Gmail as a backup. So say, for example, you're working at a company, suddenly got laid off, and now you can't get access to your work email anymore, or you left suddenly. then you want another way of getting in. If you're a business owner yourself, let's say your domain got hacked or something else, it's just a backup. But generally, you should be using your work email. Okay, please turn off your mute yourself. Thank you. So we can look with people when we click on this section. When we click on this section here, that will take us and it will go through and it will show us who is in our email address book, who is on LinkedIn, but we're not yet connected to. So in my case, obviously, there's not that many because I keep it up to date. But the first time you do this, you may have thousands of them. And this is a fantastic way to build up your network because all of these people are already known to you. You sent them an email at some point. You've had some kind of communication with them. There's an existing relationship. They're not like a cold lead. So they're a great way to do it. Now, my tip for this is the people that don't have a profile shot probably don't really care much about LinkedIn. So this may not be the right place to reach them. Anyone who's got a headshot will normally be somebody that is using LinkedIn, and then they're a good person to get in touch with. So we can do that. Now, what happens next is it will ask you to do this. It will show, and basically what that shows you is people that are in your address book that you're not connected to on LinkedIn because they're not on LinkedIn. So we leave them alone. Notice that they make it a lot easier to connect with those people by select all, whereas on the other one, you have to do it one by one. So now, so we don't want to do that. Leave them alone. It's just annoying. People complain all the time about getting these kind of emails. Now you can also synchronize your contacts. So this basically, you go to here, to your My Network, then you go into your contacts there, and you'll notice that my connections is different to the amount of contacts. My connections tells me how many people I'm connected to, but the contacts is imported contact. So what I can do is I can go in there and I can take a look and I can click for my phone contacts or for my Google contacts. In my case, I use Google Workspace for my email, and it will show me different people. Now there's some tips here. If it says invite, that means that person is not on LinkedIn. So let's just leave them alone. We'll find another way to contact them. If it says message, then they're already a first-degree connection. If it says connect, then they're on LinkedIn, but we're not connected to them yet. So this is a great target. Again, we do that and we send them a note in our connection request, reminding them how we know each other, or just asking them to connect. If it says message, it means you're already connected. So also you can manage your synchronized contacts there as well. Now, here's some more tips. You can actually synchronize your contacts here as well. So I use Google Workspace for my email, so I can basically synchronize that. I've also got my Gmail account there. I strongly suggest you to get your work contacts onto your Gmail as well. Export them using Microsoft Outlook or whatever you do, but have it in two different places. So say, for example, if you leave your job, if you're working in the company, then you've got all those contacts on hand, and you already have those email addresses in your network rather than leaving them behind. Now, you can also synchronize Outlook personal and Outlook for work, but please note it's for Outlook.com only, which is the online version of Microsoft Outlook, not the Microsoft Outlook you're using in your office every day. Microsoft owns LinkedIn, and they have since 2016, but they've been very poor at integrating LinkedIn into Microsoft Office products. You notice that it's super easy to do it with Google. So Google and LinkedIn had a very long, passionate love affair, and they had to break up when Microsoft bought them. But they were so in bed with each other that even now it's still very easy to synchronize things to Google, but not easy to synchronize it to Microsoft. Now you can also synchronize your phone contacts using the mobile app. And the mobile app is actually the topic of another workshop that I have, which focuses on mobile app tips and tricks. The mobile app is fantastic, and there are lots of little known features on that you probably have no idea about, but it's a really useful tool, especially for us in Hong Kong where we're running around all the time. Now you can also synchronize your calendar. Now, again, if you're using Google Calendar as your main calendar, it's very easy to do, but you can also synchronize your phone calendar. Now, the reason that we do that is so that when we are going to have a meeting with somebody, LinkedIn will show us their profile of the person we're going to meet, even if we're not connected to them. So that's a really useful tool there as well. Now, when we're looking at LinkedIn, we want to find a reason to reach out to people. So here we'll go to our daily notifications and we'll take a look at what's been going on in our network. Here we can see that I've been mentioned in a comment. Someone's like commented on a post that I'm active in already. So these are good reasons to reach out to somebody. Now, you can connect with your profile views. And this is something that I've just really started using. For ages, I didn't bother with it. I thought it was a bit funny. If somebody looks at my profile and then I go in and I contact them, hey, and she looks at my profile. Hi, can I help you? It's a bit creepy. But actually, I tried it as an experiment. Turns out, works super well. Now, with the free version of LinkedIn, you only get limited views. So in this case, I can see that Nick and Florian, they're already connected to me. I mean, actually, recently I didn't have anyone that was looking at my profile that wasn't connected to me. But it's happened twice in the past month. So people looked at my profile and I just connected with them. I said, hey, hi, and I just sent that note saying, didn't ask them for anything, just connect. And they both came back and said, oh yeah, great, thanks for connecting. Actually, I want to work with you. And they were like, looking at my profile, there's normally a reason they're looking. Now, I say I was reluctant to do this for a long time because I thought, again, people might find it a bit creepy. It turns out, if they're looking at your profile, there's a good reason for it. So it's worth connecting with them. So especially these days. Now, here's what you should not do. It's just send cold connection requests like this, unless you really know the person. It's just, I would look at it favorably. LinkedIn is a networking site. I'm here to grow my network and I'm interested if the person's the right profile. But your chance of getting your connection accepted is much, much lower if you don't send a note. Now, I don't actually have any data from LinkedIn about the difference between connection requests if you send a note or if you don't. But I know anecdotally that it's much higher when you send a note. Because the thing is, a lot of people are using sales automation tools, which just send stuff out. And again, we're going to talk about that later. But remember, LinkedIn is a one-to-one, one-by-one networking site. So building it up, again, 5 connections a day, 5 times a week, 25 a week, 100 a month, 300 a quarter, 1,200 a year. Off you go. Now, if you just send somebody a cold connection request, they can do this. And they can, the nuclear option is that they can say, I don't know this person. Now, you don't want that to happen to you. I'm going to tell you why. Now, it's really important. Send them a note, have all set up, and then connect with them. After you've connected with them, once they accept your request, like this guy from Vincent, he accepted my request, and I said to him, great to be connected here, welcome to my network. And again, this is a Word document. It's quite long, but it's reasonably personalized. I've given some benefits. I said, follow my personalized hashtag. You can follow my posts. And then he'll often what I find is that people will write back to me and go, oh, thanks so much. Great to connect with you as well. And then you've got some kind of relationship. And then I've got like, I say, do let me know if you've got any LinkedIn questions. I'm putting feelers out. If he's interested in working with me, he'll probably say something. And I say, oh yeah, actually, yeah. Tell me some information, or he'll reply back to it. So he'll give me a buying signal. If he doesn't, then he's just in my network, and I'm going to warm him up over time by providing useful and interesting content on a consistent basis until he's ready to work with me, or he knows somebody who wants to work with me. I get a ton of referrals on LinkedIn, sometimes even from people that I've never met, but they just know me and they've heard of me doing LinkedIn stuff, and they refer me to their friend or their business contact to work together. So this is it works super well. Now, there is a thing called LinkedIn jail. You remember I said the invitation declined, and I don't know this person. If you get 5 of those I don't know this persons, you can get sent to what's called LinkedIn jail. Now, LinkedIn jail is not a nice place to be. What will happen is that you'll need to input the email address of people you want to connect with, and you'll be like that for 30 days. And so if you don't have that person's email address, you can't contact with them. You can even have your account suspended if you go too crazy. So we don't want to end up in LinkedIn jail. We're trying to connect with people that want to be connected with us or are willing to connect with us. Now, there are some ways that you end up in LinkedIn jail. The first one is doing too many searches. If you do too many searches in a short period of time, LinkedIn will think that you're using a sales automation tool and will chuck you in LinkedIn jail. Now, you can add up to 100 people every week on LinkedIn, and that's the same whether you're using the paid service or the free service. So what I do, I add 5 a day normally. I don't need to add like 20 instead of quite a lot. So, and also nobody really knows what's the number that triggers you going to jail. So, for example, even though you're allowed to add 100 people in a week, if you add 25 today, that might trigger the trap. Or another day, it might only be 10 people. So nobody knows. It seems to be very random. So it's better to keep that number lower so that you don't end up in LinkedIn jail. It's just really annoying, very restrictive to your activity. Now, also, if you're using a fake profile. Now, I've had people impersonate my company. Apparently, I've got an office in Barcelona and Australia at various times. Even a guy set himself up as me. And LinkedIn will act very swiftly about that. But if they suspect that you're using a fake profile, then they'll shut you down. Now, some salespeople will use a fake profile. They use it almost as a burner profile that they're prepared to get shut down if necessary. If you use sales automation tools or bots, LinkedIn really doesn't like these. A lot of people are doing it, and you really shouldn't. It's very bad practice, and it's ruining the site for everybody. No whole old man on LinkedIn. It's not a dating site. A lot of my female clients complain a lot about inappropriate approaches on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn will act very swiftly if you're reported for this. And the trouble is, you're ruining it for everyone. Earlier on today, I was reading an article about a lady, and she met a guy on a dating site on Bumble. And the guy, he was a bit too keen. He found her on LinkedIn, and he then started messaging her on LinkedIn, saying, connect with me. And when she didn't reply quickly, he was like, oh, so you're ignoring me, huh? And she went to the media with it. And now the media's, like LinkedIn and the media are blowing up with this. Some people are saying, well, nothing wrong with that. He's a bit too keen, but he didn't do anything wrong. He wasn't inappropriate. You were on a dating site. He's just checking you out. And certainly I know I'm single. Plenty of girls check me out after I connect with them on a dating site on LinkedIn. They want to see who am I? But generally, let's not do dating on LinkedIn. It's not for that purpose. Now, a little known tip is using special characters in your headline. It's not allowed. This violates the user agreement, and you can have your account suspended for doing that. So don't use it. Also, don't put contact information in your headline as well. That's a really stupid way to end up in LinkedIn jail. And of course, don't be mean. So many people these days are keyboard warriors, especially they're a bit stressed out, working from home, a bit more grumpier than normal. People say a lot of things online that they would not say to you if they were standing in front of your face. And they forget that you're not just saying it to that person, you're saying it to the whole market. All it takes is for one potential client to see that you're a bit grumpy and a bit aggressive. That's definitely going to put them off doing business with you. It doesn't present you in a professional way at all. Don't forget that anything you put on the internet is there forever. Of course, if LinkedIn thinks that your account has been compromised, they may shut it down as well. I've had this before with clients. LinkedIn is not particularly fond of people like me who upgrade people's profiles, and we've had it before where they thought the account had been hacked, and then we have to do a whole bunch of things like uploading proof of ID documents, an ID card and a passport. We don't want to get into that. So generally keep your account secure and be careful. So these are some ways to end up in LinkedIn jail. Now, as I said, good to know, you can add 100 people a week. So again, I don't suggest you add so many as that because it's difficult to keep up to date when people are accepting your connection request, because an important part of connecting with people is sending them a note in the connection request, but also sending a follow-up note to say, thanks for connecting. Let me know if you've got any questions or if I can help you in any way. And again, moving on from that, another one of my workshops is about social selling and how to generate leads. We go into that in more detail in that workshop. Now, you need to have about an 80% acceptance rate for invitations on LinkedIn. So if you're sending out too many and too many people are not accepting them, or even people are rejecting them and saying, I don't know this person, then you're going to get into trouble. So it's better to go less. Generally, it's going to be very hard for you to keep up with 100 connection requests every week, sending out connections and accepting them, manage them, as well as do your own existing work. Do not use sales automation software like these guys. LinkedIn really hates them. Now, the trouble is, it's a double-edged sword because they do work to some degree. Some of them are getting very clever with their AI. They know how to send the right amount of requests out, the right time of day, with a note, and they know that AI is good. But if you get caught, your account will be shut down. Now, I will never use one of these tools. It's taken me like 18 years to build up my LinkedIn network. This is my livelihood. If I got that account shut down, it would be disastrous for my business. So if you spend a lot of time building up a network and then suddenly it's gone and you have to start again, you're going to look terrible in the eyes of your clients. It's going to take you a really long time to build it up. Remember, you can only get 100 people a week. It's going to be very difficult. So I highly recommend you do not go anywhere near any sales automation software. Now, otherwise, LinkedIn jail, here we go. Now, these are the kind of warning notifications that you can get if you've been naughty. How do I know? I've been naughty before. This is all hard and experience I'm sharing with you here. I got a bit too excited about adding people when I first started using LinkedIn more professionally or more aggressively. And you will receive a message like this: help us keep conversations on LinkedIn. So that one, I didn't send anyone any appropriate messages, but this is the kind of stuff you can get. So if you're like, again, Mr. Lover, or being rude to people, you can get into trouble. This is the one that I got in trouble for. Looking at too many pages on LinkedIn, and they say with supernatural frequency, this is a quote. They say, we think maybe using a sales automation tool, which violates the LinkedIn agreement. So they warn you. So, and then you go into LinkedIn jail for 30 days. Now, how do we get out of LinkedIn jail? We get in. Well, first of all, we go to here, and we go to help. Normally, they'll send you a message, an email, or a message saying that you've been naughty, and then you have to basically appeal to them. Now, LinkedIn Help, if you've ever had any trouble with your LinkedIn account, kind of sucks. So I have a better solution. So what you do is you go to Twitter, and you go to @LinkedIn Help on Twitter, and you will actually speak to a real person, and they will help you. LinkedIn Help, LinkedIn is free, so it's self-service. So you don't really get an actual person talking to you. Whereas on LinkedIn, on Twitter, you will actually get to speak to a real person. This is actual gold. If you ever get any trouble on LinkedIn, that's the best way to approach it. But best of all is don't end up in LinkedIn jail in the first place. So to sum up, LinkedIn is all about connecting to opportunity. You've learned about the power of LinkedIn. I've showed you how to connect with clients in the right way on LinkedIn by writing a note, a connection request, a follow-up note to say thank you. Then after that, you can use social selling techniques to connect, get them going. And also taught you how to keep out of LinkedIn jail. So that's all we got time for today. This is part of my bite-sized LinkedIn series. So the workshop number 1 teaches you how to upgrade your profile. I've got the mobile app workshop as well. The headshot's a bit of a pet topic of mine. You don't get a second chance of making a good first impression, so make sure that you've got a professional headshot. Don't just get your mate to do it. How to post effectively, we've got a whole workshop on that. How to source recommendations from happy clients and past bosses. How to spy on your competition, or 007. I've got a whole session on the messaging app on LinkedIn and how to use that effectively. How to grow your network. So what we covered today is connect with clients and then how to generate leads. Now, I've also got a longer 2-hour set of workshops. Upgrade your profile, parts 1 and part 2. These are 2 hours each. The topic's so big now that I needed 2 workshops to cover it. I've got a workshop on personal branding, thought leadership, social selling, how to generate leads using LinkedIn, how to find a new job, my in-house workshop, LinkedIn for business teams, employer branding, and I've got a half-day workshop which teaches pretty much everything I know about LinkedIn. I've got a workshop on content marketing. I've even got one for students. I've been doing that a lot in the past year or so with a lot of the universities in Hong Kong. So if you or your company would like me to run one of those workshops for your business or for your company, then please get in touch. I do charge for them, they're not free, and I can help you. Now, smart people ask hard questions. And so I'm stealing myself. There's some difficult questions from you guys. So we're going to jump into the chat now and see if you can either shout them out or we can yeah, we can put it on the screen. You guys are all public speakers, so don't be shy.
Hello.
As we get back for the chat, press the timer. How much time can we spend for questions? How good are we in terms of time?
Yes, we currently we have already overrun a little, but if one have a question, I think that it's worthwhile to do 1 or 2 questions for everyone to understand more. If no question, we can move to the next speech then. Yes, we have already overrun for around 10 minutes.
Okay, well, do you want to take some questions or do you want to move on to the next part of your meeting? Is everybody in a rush, or if you have extra time? I know I went over a bit, I'm sorry for that, but like I want to give you guys as much value as I can with my time here. So tell me what you want to do. Okay, good. So I can see oh, the soft crystal software. I just grabbed an image off the internet about that. So maybe one of them is not an actual what do you call it, sales automation tool. So I'm not going to comment on that. But Brett is joining us all the way from Australia. Hi Brett, thanks for staying up so late. Appreciate that. Synchronizing your contacts. We did cover that in the workshop already. So basically to recap. Let me see. Can I go back to my presentation? I'm not sure. Well, actually, no, I did cover that in the presentation, so I kind of want to keep on track there. Go down to the left-hand side, go to your contacts, go down to the left-hand side, halfway down, type in your email address, and then it will give you an option to do that. So, a couple more questions. Any up
some tips on the kind of content we posted on LinkedIn.
Again, that's the topic of a whole workshop on posting tips. The key point is be interesting. As I mentioned before, pick 3 things that you want to be known as an industry expert for. Understand what your clients' pain points are around those topics, and then post content that addresses their needs in terms of what's in it for me for your client. Pretty straightforward. But the most important thing is the market will tell you you're not interesting, because you'll get no engagement, no likes, and no comments.
Deepa is asking you, can you pick and choose from your workshop list? Do you have a schedule?
I work with different organizations to run different workshops. If you're booking me to come and work for your company, then you can, of course, you can have whatever one you want. Otherwise, I do quite a lot with Toastmasters. We've been working together with the different groups for quite a while now, so stay tuned for the next ones. Yeah, that's the best way. I don't, at the moment, the past year, I haven't really been doing much live stuff. This is the first time I've done a workshop for a while. There wasn't an in-house one for a client. Simply because people just got a Zoom fatigue, and I just found that it was just not effective anymore. I mean, remember that the goal of me doing this, of course, I want to share knowledge with you, but I'm also looking for clients and how I spend my time. If I don't get clients from it, I won't do it. So that's that would be the best way. Now, another question: what's the difference between an affiliate page and a showcase page? Right, I think what you mean is a LinkedIn company page and a showcase page. Now, again, I've got a whole workshop on that. My employer branding workshop covers about how to do company pages. But quickly, your company page is your main company. Let's say, like for me, how I use those pages. I've got SB Consulting, which is my marketing consulting page. I've got a LinkedIn training page, but then I've got a showcase pages on LinkedIn Training Singapore, Social Selling Singapore, Thought Leadership, all different ones, a subset. Now, overall, company pages suck, but they're really good for SEO. So if you want to show up in searches, then they're really useful for that. Yes, please.
I've over the years, I have 500 plus contacts now, but then I suddenly want to contact someone and I see that the person is there in my contact base, but then I don't really remember where I had met them or something, or I want to add some notes for them. There's no space on LinkedIn, where I can add some notes, like, I met you. I want to say, oh, I met Steve here at this place, blah, blah, blah. I had this meeting. Is there some place I can add in along with the contact?
So you could do that with Sales Navigator, which is a paid service on LinkedIn, and that's like a CRM system. But I caution you, Sales Navigator is like a fish trap. Once you swim inside, it's very difficult to escape from it because you'll lose all that stuff if you stop using Sales Navigator. So it depends how aggressively you're doing outbound sales. Like I use HubSpot CRM, which is a free CRM, and that does everything I needed to do in terms of, like, my sales cycles are very long. So it sounds like yours, where it can take up to 2 years for a client to work with me, for me first meeting them. So I manage it through there.
Can I export my LinkedIn contact?
It's not as useful as it used to be. The default setting for showing people or allowing people to export their email address used to be yes, but it's been changed to no because of GDPRs. So you can try, but it's pretty ineffective these days. I mean, the LinkedIn is really very much about one-to-one marketing rather than trying to sort of blast out loads of stuff. But there are new features coming in, and I will be creating some workshops about that. LinkedIn is creating a Clubhouse type, but it's going to kill Clubhouse basically. And you can do live events and newsletters and all this kind of stuff. So, but that's all done on a different creator mode. Right. So, any workshop on Sales Navigator and organic growth? I don't teach how to use the paid services. I'm very careful to keep off LinkedIn's toes in that respect. Technically, I'm not allowed to be a LinkedIn trainer, so I don't want to do anything that's going to upset LinkedIn. So LinkedIn will be very happy to tell you about that themselves. Sales Navigator is a very specialized tool. But I think we've probably got time for maybe one more question.
So before we move on and as we conclude Steve's photograph, may I request everyone online to come on a video mode and we can have a group photo together. Is that a good idea?
Yeah, great.
So we had participants, I think 10 of us dropped out, but rest of us get the opportunity to click a photograph with all of us together.
Okay, we can there also.
So,
and we have a small gift form.
So may I request everyone to come over video mode and
Yes.
I don't know, it's still side by side, but
no,
I'm still.
it doesn't quite work.
not.
Yeah, no, someone from Zoom will. Come this way.
Sorry, are you going to?
When someone is taking a picture,
Yeah, I have taken one or two.
take some more.
Can you see us all?
This one, this-
How do we do that one? That way?
They will do it.
Okay.
Go a little back.
We have to come here. Let's come here.
Why don't we go there? I think we've got to
So
get
let's place ourselves at the main hall along with Steve.
camera. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Much better.
And we have something.
Thank you so much.
Toastmaster, okay? Calendar for my company.
There
A
you go.
small
Thank you
token
so
of
much.
appreciation for Steve. And there we go. Are you ready for the photo? Smile and cheers. That's what it is. Thank you, Troy. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thanks for that.
And we have not concluded yet. There is one opportunity coming up for all the founders and entrepreneurs. So get back to your seat and hold on. So thank you, Steve. Thank you. And it was very nice having you. And most of you, if you still have questions, please get connected with Steve. And if you wish to connect to anybody else in the audience, get connected to our Zoom master, Joy. She can help you connect with other founders who attended the meeting today. Now, the opportunity I was mentioning about, someone in the audience asked me at the beginning of this meeting, is it allowed to put my LinkedIn ID in the chat box? Yes, it is allowed in this platform. Founders Toastmasters is one of those platforms where all the founders, entrepreneurs, leaders, or just any professionals can come along and get connected with each other. Next month, Founders has an amazing opportunity to present a pitch for your business. How exciting is that? So the sponsor and one of the founder member is getting ready with his next project, a pitch day for all the founders out there. You can just grab the opportunity, come ahead in this platform as we meet together on the second week of February. You will be presenting the pitch. So our next speaker, Bharat, is all about to introduce us to his next project, Pitch Day 2.0. Bharat, are you ready with your speech? Pitch Day 2.0?
I'm ready, but I would like Steve to be right there in front of me because here on the seat, so everyone can see you from there. Just on the seat, because I need to address to you first when I start this.
Okay, so please welcome Bharat to introduce his project, Pitch Day 2.0. Bharat, over to you.
Thank you, Manju. Thank you so much. Zoom Master, can you change this to the gallery view or somewhere? Stella, can you do that for us? Gallery view. Just the gallery view. So that I can see everyone there. Right on top, yes. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. So our love affair with, as Steve says, love affair, I love that word. I'll pick it from you, love affair with LinkedIn. My love affair started with LinkedIn from you. The workshop I visited, the first one where you told about profile. And I was so happy to be in that workshop. And in fact, I had outsourced my LinkedIn adding contacts to someone. And immediately I closed down once I knew that I'm doing something which is not going to help. So thank you for that. That was my first insight into getting into LinkedIn. And my dear friend Jim, who's right now in Australia, he had arranged that workshop with you, and I will never forget. And second time I got your reference was from our charter member, Deepa. And she was talking about you and so excited. That made us think of this workshop when we are talking about founders. At Founders, we had struggled 9 months to charter ourselves. Getting 20 members was very difficult for us. Everyone might remember how much struggle we had. And thanks to the tips we got from you, all our meetings, we could add LinkedIn members. One case study is very simple. Our president, Eddie, met us on LinkedIn for the first event, October 2019. But he never joined us. We never talked till February, when he said, I am ready. And we never had even one single phone call before that. So that is the power of LinkedIn, which we saw from you. And yesterday only you showed the chat also just now. We are chatting where LinkedIn every day is changing their algorithms. Deepa would be able to tell. We had and Manju would have faced the same problem where the LinkedIn event banner got changed. So these workshops regularly are very important to stay in touch with technology, and people like you who are specialized in that field would give all us entrepreneurs that insight into getting it. Now, why I have mentioned this as part of my project? Because my project, Pitch Day 2.0, how many of you have been in Pitch Day 1.0? That was in June at B-Start. Okay, I can see some hands raised there. Eddie was there, Miris was there, Nikita was there, many people from Pune were there. So many, we had 6 pitches, and Manju was one of the pitchers. And then we had B-Start pitch, the 10-cent B-Start pitch, their product there. Now, we found 2 challenges there. One was technology. Ours were hybrid meetings was very difficult for us. And of course, with help of our treasurer and his lovely wife here, we have been able to get this venue, which is highly compatible to hybrid settings. And they have, this is not available for everyone. So it's benefit for us, and we must thank them for this. So technology part is over. Now the second part, I remember in January 2020, when we were doing my first event ever in Hong Kong at Cyberport. Power players coming from India, the PR head Cyberport, the CEO, the Invest Hong Kong, the Consulate General of India, everyone was there. Everyone said there is too many connections, people coming in. Well, there would be a big attendance, but at the end, the show had a very less attendance. And time we have learned this through people like trainers like you, and in our Toastmasters also. I remember in one of the meetings, Sean had said, our district director, DTM Sean, that use that to send messages after they register, make sure they understand what this workshop is about. And this is what Manju, Choi, and me did this time to make sure we had a good presence today. So now for Pitch Day 2.0, we want to have a better presence than what we did. We have learned the tricks. We have already built a team. We have had first meeting of the team. We have penciled the date as 23rd of February. That is the second meeting of February for our club. And we are going to make this a quarterly. So as our 9 important people who made the last event possible, they have all agreed to contribute this time. And we will have additional more people there. I remember Jessica is there from Spain. She was there giving a pitch there. Hi, Jessica. Can you open your mic and tell us how we can improve on that last Pitch Day 1.0? Give us one takeaway how to improve from there. Other than camera.
Yeah, I think it was very long. And
oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, I unmuted. They muted me. I think it was very long, and the hybrid wasn't great yet. So next year it will be better with hybrid because you've improved.
Okay, so how is the hybrid today?
Hybrid's better now. Good job.
Oh, wonderful. So one achievement done, second achievement, marketing, already LinkedIn coach has already given us some tips today. We are there to be, and everyone, we welcome you all. Come to Pitch Day 2.0, 23rd of February. And we have another 2 big events planned in this year. Of course, there should be some surprise. We have not to disclose everything today. Come to our next meeting and you will learn more. Over to you, Manju, and I hope that I have not exceeded too much on time. Thank you.
Thank you, Bharat. Thank you, Bharat. So I request everybody, what are you waiting for? Get connected, like and follow Founders Toastmasters. And you may be wondering, with all the LinkedIn IDs on the chat box, what do I do? Lucky if you were able to connect to few people, but if you couldn't, get connected to our VP membership and the Zoom Master Joy. So she is the one who can help you connect to all the other LinkedIn IDs. So coming up next, we have an amazing opportunity for you to explore the table topics floor. Are you ready? Yes. Yes. So we have a very seasoned speaker, and definitely table topics is one of the very interesting sessions where you get to speak on anything. You know, you can just take a breath and relax now. So as a table topics master, we have a very seasoned speaker, a trainer by profession, distinguished Toastmaster, sponsor of Founders Toastmasters Club, mentor of many clubs in Hong Kong and Singapore, 16 years Toastmastering and speaking. Please welcome Coin Zen. Over to you, Coin.
Thank you, Toastmaster Day Manju. Thank you for having me today and to speak after Steve. He is the real heavyweight of tonight's meeting. So we'll quickly kick off my session, the table topic session. So I'll like to share screen first. Can you see the Google slide? Okay, that's great. So table topics. This is the most exciting part of the Toastmasters meeting. The main objective is really to challenge our members and guests to develop their impromptu communication skills, okay, by answering unrehearsed questions. So the key word is unrehearsed. So thinking on your feet. So this session is designed by Toastmasters over many years. It's specifically designed to develop 4 essential communication skills. First up, and what many people forget, is really listening skills. Listen before you speak. And even before you speak, you should start thinking about the topic or the points you want to communicate across to your audience. And then, of course, thought organization of your speech, and finally, delivering your speech, speaking. So the time signal for the table topic is 1 to 2 minutes. At the 1 minute, the green card or sign or background will be shown by our timer. And at 1 minute and 30 seconds, the yellow, and at 2 minutes, the red card. You have another 30 seconds grace to wrap up your speech. So I want everyone here today, wow, the 45 people, 50 people here tonight, to take this opportunity to speak up. We've prepared lots of questions tonight, so this will be fun tonight. So I don't want to release the question first. I would like to ask for volunteer. Yes, and is there?
I have a small interruption here.
Sorry?
I have a small interruption here.
Yes, please.
Our guest speaker, Steve, would like to leave as he has another appointment. So shall we award a certificate?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So,
Toastmaster of the day.
Yes, over to you, Coin. You can award the certificate now. So request Steve to leave.
I don't know how to give you, but hey, thank you for coming,
So
Steve.
we'll take a picture with the screen. May I request the Zoom master to help us take a picture?
We can't take if I'm
If you
sharing,
stay
you
there,
know. We can't take if I'm
put up
sharing.
the camera just like you are.
We can't take if I'm sharing. So if I stop share, then we can't see the certificate. Well, that's the limitation of Zoom. But yeah.
Try to take a picture, please.
Okay, so Bharat will take a picture.
So,
Yeah.
please.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Steve. One more.
In fact,
Thank you.
interesting ways of hybrid meetings.
Yes, we'll send that to Steve. Bharat will send that to Steve as a PDF or as a picture or something. Thank you very much, Steve. I really learned a lot from you, especially someone who is, like you say, a complete newbie in LinkedIn. Okay.
Our sincere gratitude and for all the wholesome efforts for this session. Thank you, Steve. And back to you, Coy.
Thank you. So can I ask for volunteers, please? Bharat has sent me the names of some people, but I cannot access that now because if I switch my screen, I will show our WhatsApp, which is not so nice. Can you tell me who are the people who have already volunteered for this table topic session?
Sorry, can you tell the names?
Or Paul can tell us, maybe.
No, we had a slight change. Sorry.
Or anyone can just jump in. Really, anyone? I cannot see who volunteered.
So
because
Joyce.
Ali.
Oh.
Our member Ali, who has just joined after first time he's joining after he's joined.
Okay, let's go with this. We go for Ali and then Joyce, because I've heard Paul said that, and then Jessica, who raised her hand, which I can see. The rest I can't really see. So the guys on the ground or the Zoom master, you have to tell me who has volunteered. Okay, let's go with Ali. Are you ready? Okay, remember the timing device. Okay, timer, are you ready?
Your topic stop sharing your screen.
Well, wait, I have to give him the topic, right? Okay, Ali, your topic is, if you have a chance to completely reinvent yourself, what job or profession will you take up?
Oh,
if you have a chance to completely reinvent yourself, what job or profession will you do? Ali.
I'm a civil servant. I'm a expert in agricultural field, but what I want to do is completely different. Actually, as far as I know myself, I'm 42 years old now, and at the time that I passed, I realized I'm into education business, and I like teaching. I like help children, students, and I'm trying to do that as much as I can. I'm trying to get help from my wife, who is a teacher, and from other people to make something like a coaching, like with baby steps at the moment. I like it because I like children to grow their selves, and I like to pass along the information that I got. You have to share your information. I believe everyone has to share something, what you have, what they have from life. If you have money, you should share. If you have knowledge, you should share. So I will choose education. That's my point. Thank you.
Thank you, Ali, for sharing. Your real intention. Not really at your job. I guess a lot of people have this way of thinking. Sometimes some people don't really like their jobs. You can also talk to me. I've been a teacher. I'm still a teacher, and secretly want to teach kids but outside of a school environment. Now I'm in a school environment, so you can reach out to me. Thank you very much. We will go with Joyce before going with Jessica. Joy.
Hi.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay, now I will share my screen. And your question is, if you were a late night talk show host, who would you invite as your guest? If you were a late night talk show host, who will you invite as your guest? Joyce.
Okay, so it's already started, right?
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Wow, what's the topic? So, well, if I have a chance to be a late night host, a talk show host, I'd like to invite my grandpa who passed away 4 years ago. Why? Because I would like to have another chance to talk with him. Because I record, he actually shared a very, very interesting experience to me. When he was young, he was at school, and at that time there was civil war. So they actually suffering from starvation, but still they had to pay for the school tuition. But most of them are poor and don't have money. So instead, some of them, they're allowed to pay by contributing rice or contributing food to the school. So he shared with me that some of them actually being very playful or just being or because they're really poor, they actually putting pebbles into their pack of rice instead of contributing a full bag of rice to the school. And he said that they laugh a lot, they make a lot of jokes because of that. And even though that it's during the Civil War time, they had a really good time. They still had a good time at school, playing basketball and trying to enjoy this by trying to enjoy a lot at school to try to learn as much as they can. And to get back to the topic, so I would like to learn more from him that how their lives were back then at the Civil War and their school lives. And most importantly, I want to be to hug my grandpa one last time. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. If we could turn back time, there are so many people, those little moments we want to relive and to chat with them. Definitely. Definitely. Okay. Thank you, Joyce. Let's have Jessica, who raised her hand. Yes, Jessica, we know each other, a very successful coach. Are you ready? Okay, so I gotta change here. Okay, Jessica, you ready?
Yes.
Okay, and your topic is, what's the silliest thing you're pretty good at? What's the silliest thing you are pretty good at? Jessica.
Imagine walking onto a train at 2 o'clock in a busy train station in Barcelona. You look around and everyone's staring at you. And not just because you're 180 centimeters tall, blonde, blue-eyed in short, very thin, tiny Spain. But rather that day, I was going to a clown class, a 4-day intensive workshop on New Year's Eve 6 years ago, outside of Barcelona. And the instructions from the clown teacher were, do something silly that scares you. Now, what would you all do? You can type in the chat box, it might be interesting actually. What is something that is just silly that nobody would do that isn't scared of people judging them? So some of my colleagues, they put a broom in their, not a broom, a brush in their hair. Some other colleagues, they wore something on their face. They wore their jacket backwards. Yeah, and for 3 hours on the train and walking around the small town Spain, we absorbed the judgment from the people. But I did something that is scarier than traveling to Egypt by yourself in a backpack, which is quite scary. I put my underwear on top of my pants. And it was the worst thing I've ever done in my entire life because people think you're crazy. And social isolation literally hurts our nervous system because if people don't like us, they reject us and we die alone because they exclude us from the community. And so being weird, being strange, being silly when everybody is normal literally hurts our system, and we try and be normal, respectful, and linked in normal. And so the silliest thing I've ever done is be silly, being a clown. And actually the reason I am getting quite successful in public speaking is because I've done 300 hours of clown classes. I've learned to go on stage, be rejected, not be laughed at, being laughed at, and learned that my self-esteem is deeper than just what people think of me. And it's real self-esteem. And so being a clown in hospitals in Barcelona is the scariest thing and the silliest thing I've ever done. And you should do it. Hark.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, being a clown definitely is one thing. As we say in, I don't know, some parts of the world, when you act silly, you'll be like, yeah, don't be a clown, right? So that's what people say. Thank you very much. Now let's have Shobna.
I also want to add that Bharat also volunteered for Bharat Volleyball, also volunteered for tabletop.
Thank you. We'll have Shobna and then Bharat. Okay. Shobna,
Yeah,
are you ready?
I'm here.
Can you highlight Shobna, please? Yes, Shobna. Yes. Okay. Let's.
Can you see me? Yeah.
Zoom Master, please highlight Shobna. Yes,
Hi,
thank you.
yeah.
Are you ready? Yes,
Yes,
you are here. Oh,
ready,
dear.
ready. Yeah.
Okay, and your topic is, what's the worst piece of advice you've been given and accepted? You know, a lot of people can give you advice, but hey, you actually accept it and perhaps carry it out. So what's the worst piece of advice you've been given and accepted, Shobna?
That's a very interesting question. Worst piece of advice I've been given and I accepted. The worst piece of advice that I got was when somebody said that oh gosh, that's a curious one. Okay, that I accepted. I'm the kind of person who actually does not accept advice easily. And if it is the worst advice, it's even harder for me to accept. But it, like you said, since this is the table topic of the day, I will tell you what it is. The advice that was the worst thing is that somebody told me that if you walk under a ladder, you know, when you, it's that superstition where you walk under a ladder and then there will be bad luck for you. So imagine on a road when there is a ladder leaning against a building and you walk under it, it's the belief is that it is bad luck. So somebody gave me this advice that do not walk under that ladder, otherwise you'll get some bad luck. And obviously, as everyone knows, that when you have faith and belief in something, it will actually come true. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You walk under a ladder and especially when I did that, and I was like, it happened inadvertently, and I was so scared. And I was like, oh no, something terrible is going to happen. Something is going to happen. It's one of those things that even till today, walking under a ladder is a silly advice. It is one of the worst advice I've been given, but I still follow it. I do not walk under a ladder, I walk around it. So that's my thing. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, I like the word self-fulfilling prophecy. As a language evaluator, I like that. because it reinforces, right? You keep thinking about it and therefore it becomes true. In fact, that's what politicians do. Thank you very much. Let's have Bharat, the other Bharat, but the rest of the people, please continue to volunteer. I cannot see who volunteered. So you can type in the chat or you can tell the Zoom master. Okay, can we highlight Bharat, please?
We are good to go for one more table topic speaker.
I see. Okay, let's have Bharat. Okay, Bharat, are you ready? Okay, let's go. Oops. Okay, and your topic is, if you are a car, which brand and model would you be? If you are a car, which brand and model would you be? Bharat.
Hey, hi, founders. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, I think this question in this audience is not it's a not no-brainer. I think all of here are coming from an entrepreneurial spirit and tech savvy. So my answer to that is, if I would be a car, I would be of brand Tesla. And yeah, I think this audience quite relate to that. So I would be of brand Tesla, and the model, I don't remember the latest model, which is doing a lot of news in the Europe. I have been reading few articles that during the COVID pandemic, Tesla has been able to increase their sales 37% in Europe alone. And that is all due to the latest model. So, and that comes with few advantages of latest technologies, AI, ML, all those stuff, like your Google Home is inside your car and you can do a lot of good stuff, use your technologies, save your time pretty much in most efficient and productive way. So if I would be a car, it would be a Tesla. And there are three reasons for that. One, Tesla is a brand which I could easily correlate to, but the idea is the concept behind that, which is you use the source of your resources, which is future and trying to save our carbon footprint less if we adopt to those future ready models more and more. So that is one. And I think in this group, everyone would easily correlate to that. Second, if you want to aim something, then aim for high. So Tesla is a model, or the founders of Tesla is always a role model for me that I closely follow up. And the way they have been, able to always make, I mean, imagine in COVID times, right? I mean, everywhere business is under pressure. But I would love to share the articles which I've been going through in this group. And with that high valued car, their models are pretty expensive, right? Even in Hong Kong, but they are able to upsell their models very high, and they increase their sales 37%. That's really high, all due to this new model. So yep, that's my answer.
Thank you very much. Yes, indeed, Tesla is the company to watch for the next 10 years. You may become the world's largest automotive company, although it is already the largest by market capitalization. Yeah. Thank you, Bharat. Timer, do you have the timing for each of our speakers, please? Do you keep? Oh, can you just say it out? Because you'll be kind of too. Oh, okay. Maybe you can put near the screen so that we can see. We cannot hear you.
Unmute. Is it
yes,
okay
please.
now?
Speaker one, yes.
Yes, speaker one is Ali.
Yes.
Nice to meet you. And then your time is very perfect. It's 1 minute 58 seconds. So it's inside 2 minutes for Joyce. You also pass the time and you utilize the time very well. 2 minutes 40 seconds. So as Jessica and the fourth one, sorry, I forgot the name. That you Shopna, and then it's also 2 minutes speech. And for Bharat, it's 2 minutes 25 seconds. So they're all within the time zone.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
you.
much, Taima. All the speakers, if
Thank
we
you.
were in a contest, you would qualify to be voted. Thank you very much. We will do a poll at the end of our meeting, and we'll open up the poll later. Thank you very much. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you. So where are we? We spoke about the vision. We spoke about connecting to opportunities. We spoke about having a pitch for founders and leaders and entrepreneurs. Now connecting it all, who would like to connect to the opportunity of having a vision to present a pitch? Having a vision to present a pitch at founders. Who would like to connect to that opportunity? Just a random question. If you would like, raise your hands. Jessica. I see Bharat, I see Sumit. I cannot see more. Yes, so the question was, who would like to have the vision to present a pitch at the founders? Yes, Michael. Michael, may I ask you, what would you like about what did you like about that opportunity, presenting a pitch at the founders? Michael Veda. You're on mute, Michael.
You can restate the question, please, one more time. I think I heard it, but I'm not sure. Please, question.
Yes, the question is, what did you like about the idea?
Your question?
What did you like about the idea of presenting a pitch at Founders Toastmasters?
Einstein said, creativity is imagination having fun. And that's what I think you have. I think you have a good imagination in your club and you have a good idea. Being creative and making it happen, that's fun. And as long as you're doing it, I think you're going in the right direction. And I would challenge you to even do more bizarre or more things that are more imaginative. And your club will be the one where people want to come to. Thank you.
Thank you. Yay. So let's go for a 2-minute break. Yeah, just a 2-minute break. And let's be right back at 8:52. I'm sorry about that. 2 minutes break.
Let's take this time to interact with the guests. Zoom Master as well, we can just chat with the guests. Can we remove the pin, please, so that we can... Okay, so that we can take a view gallery. Wow, let's see. Good to see Nerys. Gosh, I don't even know where Nerys is. We have Anouk, Kian, Edie, Charlotte. Oh, Charlotte Yip. Oh, from one of the universities. Is that right? Is the same Charlotte? Tanmay, Sarao, Sumi, Shirley. Would you like to switch on your videos? You know, I would like to know how our club is doing. Did you like our format?
Hi.
Hi. Did you like our format? Was it informative? Because we'll be planning such high quality meetings. Of course, as Bharat said, we will not review, but they will be quite heavyweight speakers. Any feedback?
Thank you for this opportunity. We had an amazing meeting. For the R counter report, I have the central timer used 2 hours. Steve Rose, Toastmaster Steve Rose used 2 hours. The TMOD for the day used 3 arms. and the general evaluate and table topic master use 2 hands, which is very less for such a huge meeting. And that is so good about our meeting today. These filler words are not so great words, but having so less of them is very, very great. And today I learned about using LinkedIn, how to use LinkedIn. I still don't have a LinkedIn profile, and I will get it tonight itself. Thank you.
Thank you, Mukti. Thank you for your report, although we need it later, but we will skip that when it comes to your turn. Anyone else? Anyone else? Or how about this? What kind of events or speaker would you like to hear from our meetings? Let us know. We can plan for it. Any suggestions?
I have a suggestion.
Yes, please.
Lisa Marie, who was the first runner-up in this year's world competition, World Speakers Competition, she came in second. I saw a workshop by her last week, and it was fantastic. She talks about all the things you need to do to present online: the character, the position, the lighting, the way you talk, the movement of hand gestures, voice variation. She covered a whole gambit of things in about 30 minutes, and it was a really super workshop. So possibly if you contact her, maybe you can get her to come in and do a workshop. It was really, really great.
Thank you, Michael. In fact, last month, I did a workshop on delivery on stage as well. Of course, I'm not the world champion, but I think we'll cover something quite similar.
You're
Definitely.
not the world champion yet.
Yet.
Thank you.
Yet.
I need to take part in contest for a start next year. Thank you, Michael. You have Bharat's contact, right? So he can contact you for that.
Yes,
and
yeah, I have. Yeah, no, he invited me, so I'll contact him back with the information.
Yes,
but it was a very, very good workshop, and I've seen a lot of workshops, but this one was good.
Thank you. Now, our club, one of our things that our club do, although we are very young, we are in the process of grooming the next champion. We want to start at least, it's a bit small, but we want to start with grooming the next district champion. And I think amongst our members, we have a high chance for it. So join our club. We hope that you can join our club. We have a lot of things to prepare for you. This is a business club, but we use Toastmaster communication and leadership as a, shall we say, gel. And we meet up often to talk about, about life, about membership. So on the one side, there's the self-improvement part, but there's also the business networking and also personal connections. So that is the value of our club. We hope to seek high quality founders, startup, young entrepreneurs, or even very established businessmen. Among our members, we have a couple of CEOs who are in various industries, the construction, the energy business in Hong Kong, the chemicals manufacturing in Hong Kong, some finance professionals as well. So we definitely have a lot of things to offer to our members. So do consider joining us. Contact any of us, myself, Bharat, Manju, Choi, and Karuna. So any one of us here can speak to you more.
Sure, Coin. So we have our guest, Brett, joining in from Australia. It must be really getting late over there. Brett, what do you think about this meeting today?
Oh, it was very informative. Thanks for having me. Yes, I really enjoyed the speech and the table topics. So I hopefully I can join again. I know I'm in Australia, so I don't know how often you'll be meeting on Zoom, but I've had plenty of experience in Toastmasters. I used to be a member of Central when I was in Hong Kong.
Oh,
and I know a few of you in the audience there too. So
I believe I've met you sometime before because I know your name, Brett, sometime, and
yes,
a couple of years
yes.
back in Central when I visited.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean I've been area director, assistant area director, so on a few years back. So probably we did cross paths in other clubs or events.
Thank you. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. And next we have the sound reports. It's good to know where do we stand as speakers and how have we conducted ourselves. So may I invite the table topic evaluator to present your thoughts on the table topic speeches.
Hello, everyone. This is Sumi. Nice to meet you. Today, I will be taking the table topic evaluator role, and I will start with the table topic master himself, Cohen. So, Cohen, good job. You have a very good voice and a very good laugh. Your laugh is very memorable. I don't think I will forget it. Your questions were very interesting. I couldn't really pinpoint a particular topic that could group together your questions, but all of them were very, very interesting. And I would say that every single one of the questions had a bit of challenge in them, which is just what we're looking for table topics. So good job. And you also, and before I move on to the speakers, also wanted to add that Cohen did a very fantastic job at explaining the ground rules of table topics, how much time each speaker can have and what they should be doing once they are chosen. So great job again. And I will move on to evaluating the table topic speakers themselves, starting with Ali. Ali, I must apologize. I was slightly not connected well at the very beginning of your speech, so I missed quite a portion of it. But I remember you started off with sharing some personal information like your age, etc. Your question was, what would you be if you could completely reinvent yourself in terms of a job? That's a hard question, and I thought you did it pretty well. And you shared your story, and your answer to that was you would like to work in education. One feedback that I wanted to give you was that you did answer the question, but when it could be because of my connection issue, but I couldn't really see the buildup of the story. So maybe next time when you get to speak again, maybe you can work a little bit more on building it up so that at the end, when you hit the conclusion, we can all fully understand where you're going with this. So, but anyway, thank you very much. And second speaker, Joyce. Joyce, you are a new member to our club as well, and thank you very much for volunteering. You share with us a very personal story, a very strong story of who you would like to invite on your late night show, your grandfather. I think that was a very touching story, and you shared with us about his story of being in a more or less fortunate situations, and it was very, very engaging. Some comments about presenting on Zoom, which I also do, I realize, is me and you, I think we both have a tendency to flutter our eyes and look into different directions. This is something that I noticed, and also this is also a comment that I personally received. So let's work on this aspect together when it comes to Zoom meetings. Other than that, good job. And now I will move on to third speaker, Jessica. The silliest thing that you're good at. Wow, what a question. I was trying to come up with my own answer. I couldn't find any, and your story was so interesting. You 300 hours of clowning, amazing clown class. And I loved how you started your speech with a lot of use of description of you in Barcelona, in public transportation. And you really built up on your story very well. And your story was very well connected, and it had a very strong ending and throughout your story, you had a fantastic energy. So I am sorry that I don't have any suggestions for you, but my only I wanted to conclude by saying that we all loved your story. So very, very good. And moving on to fourth speaker, Shobha, another new member from our club. So thank you so much for volunteering. Your question was the worst piece of advice which was given. If I'm personally, if I'm asked a question like this, I would really struggle. And I could see that at the beginning, you were also trying to figure out what to say. I think you took about a bit less than 10 minutes to come up with something that you wanted to say. And you started off by saying, oh, actually, I don't really like to take advice, which is good. And you gave, and then you decided to talk about the advice, which is do not walk under the ladder, which I guess kind of works as an advice, but throughout your speech, I was like, isn't that more of a superstition? But it is completely fine. I thought that was a very good choice. My only advice is, again, this is something I also should work out for, use of You had a little bit too many of ums throughout your speech, so let's work on this together. Okay, thank you. And the last speaker, Bharat. Bharat, your question was, if you're a car, which brand and model? And of course, you went for the answer that everybody had in their head, which was a Tesla, sexy and successful Tesla. And you gave out 3 reasons to why you wanted to become a Tesla. Something that I picked up along your speech is that you started to give out 3 reasons when the time was already at green. So I think given that table topic is quite short, you could get to your point a little bit quicker. And your 3 reasons, which you gave out as carbon footprint, aiming high, and the third point, which I think was that it was expensive. I think the second and the third point got a little bit mixed up during your speech, but you stayed within the time limit and you gave out your 3 points. So I guess that works. That is it. Oh, sorry. One last point. During your speech, I saw that your phone was moving, which was a little bit distracting. So that maybe that's something you can look out for next time when we do a Zoom meeting. That is it for me. Thank you very much, everybody. Back to you, Madam
Toastmaster, there you are muted.
No, we cannot hear you. So in the meantime, I'm launching the poll.
How is it now? Are you able to hear me? Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Sumi. Let's go over to the poll for the best table topic speaker.
I wrote here, so everybody see. Huh? Oh, okay.
Nou, ik heb er echt 3. Oh, het zijn nog wat dingen.
As we wait for the poll results, we already got the R counter report. May I know the language evaluators report?
Thank you, Manju. We gave the word of the day, which is inception, which is to plant an idea in someone's head or in someone's mind, or the start of something, for example, an association. Unfortunately, tonight, I didn't hear any word of the inception, including myself. Tonight, I heard a very powerful, strong, strong is not the right word, but powerful and clear and vivid language from all our speakers today. And especially the table topics session where the topics I picked are meant to have a twist. If you notice, there is a twist in every question. So it was difficult, as Sumi pointed out. So it puts people on the spot. And today, for them to be able to speak so confidently and to be able to speak their minds for the question, I highly applaud you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Cohen. Yes, we have not used the word inception, but because we were busy incepting some ideas, and I hope those ideas, the vision that you have thought about, would be so put to practice. So coming up next is the poll awards. Are we good to reveal the poll awards?
Yes, the winner of the poll is Jessica. Congratulations to Jessica.
Just now left. Of course, we can email the certificate to Jessica. So as we proceed, please remember our next meeting is January 26th. One more meeting in January, and looking forward to meeting all of you before I hand over the podium to the president, Eddie. So Eddie.
Great. So what an exciting meeting we have today. We had so many people online in Zoom. So thank you, Centrala. Thank you, Entrepreneur Club in India. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We had such a lovely time. So please look out for our next events, Pitch 2.0, and many more to come. So please join us at the next event. Thank you so much. Go back to you, Manju.
Thank you, Eddie. And may I request the president of Centrala, Paul?
Hi, thank you, Madam
For your
Toastmaster.
closing remarks.
So thank you again, Legion of Entrepreneurs and founders for a great event. It was very informative and it was great, a great opportunity to see so many people participate in events. Unfortunately, in Hong Kong, it was one of those things where we were a bit more on the caution side, so we made it an online thing, but we do look forward to COVID blowing over sooner rather than later, and we can do and experience many more founder meetings. So thank you very much for having us.
Thank you, Paul. It was great working along with you and the entire Centrala team for this meeting to happen. And I'm sure your collaboration added a lot of value to the founders as well as the Centrala members. And is there anyone from League of Entrepreneur Toastmasters to speak on behalf of your club?
Or AJ maybe?
Ajay, I'm not sure if Ajay is still online. Yes, but
President's grandmother passed away. So that is the reason we are not here. But anyway, we must appreciate the support they have given that. Certainly pass and convey influences from our group and also have more synergy with them.
So we meet on the 2nd and 4th week of every month. Our next meeting is on January 26th. Looking forward to meeting all of you. Keep sharing the vision and spread the leadership and connect to opportunities. Back to you, Eddie.
So I think we could end the meeting today. We got everything all settled. So thank you so much for everybody attending from everywhere. I think we got people from all over the world. Ali, I want to congratulate you for speaking for the first time in our table topic. So that's great. So thank you so much. And Centralists, thank you for joining us and helping us make this event so successful. So, all right, thank you. Meeting adjourned.
Is it not needed to issue the certificates?
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. The certificate, I think Cohen has it, but yes.
Yes, and the certificates are for Steve, for Paul. I will send this to you. Sumi, being the table topics evaluator. Shreya is not here today and Varun is not here today. So thank you very much for everyone for supporting this event. I would like to, now that the meeting is adjourned, I would like to, stay on to talk to some of our guests who are, whether you're members of other clubs or new to Toastmasters, we'd like to chat with you. Can we remove spotlight? Remove spotlight, please.
Yes, coming up, removing spotlights.
Okay, so we can have a gallery view.
So you can stop the recording now.
Okay, so maybe was it Leanne? Leanne?
Yeah, Leanne.
Hi.
So what do you think? Like, the quality of our meeting, and would you consider joining us as a member?
It was an interesting meeting, and I really enjoyed the. I'm hearing some background noise. I
It's okay,
really,
just continue. Yeah.
I really enjoyed the table topics and everyone's attention to detail while speaking. I think this is not an easy skill. So I really respect the way that you support each other to develop that through practice, which is the only way to do it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're in touch with Choi, I see. Yes?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes. So do find out more from Choi. And you can see, I'm not sure whether there is a change in Choi after she joined our club. I'm sure you keep in touch. Who else? Let's see, Kian, Anouk. Kian, Anouk.
Anouk, yeah.
Tanmay. I'd like to hear from you guys. Anouk, Tanmay.
Anouk is trying to unmute. She's actually also
while you're waiting on them, Joan. I just wrote down in my journal on 9 February, I'll be coming by your meeting again. I'll stop by on 9 February. I cannot make the next meeting, but I can make it on 9 February, so I'll come by.
Thank you. I think keep in touch with Bharat. 9 meeting, we are planning for it, but it's Chinese New Year, so we'll see. But we should have it. So Bharat is the best person to speak to. Yes.
Yeah, but I also noted it, Michael. I will make sure you will be updated as well.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Fine.
Anouk,
And
yes.
I'm not planning on joining your club because now I'm in 5 clubs in 5 different countries around the world. So I'm already very busy with all those. But I do want to come back to your club. I think it's interesting. And you got to be creative. If you're going to be imaginative and creative and you're going to do things outside the box, you guys invited Jessica today. I knew you've had her before. She's a great person when you want creativity, when you want imagination. Jessica is just full of it. Her and I have done many things together, and she's very, very good at that. So I'm sorry I was late today, but I was in Malaysia, I'm sorry, not Malaysia, was in Singapore at a meeting, and it just got done. And I popped out of there and jumped in yours just to hear what you had to say. So I'm glad I caught the tail end of it. I'm glad I saw the table topics, and I'll be back on the 9th, and see you guys then.
Thank you, Michael. We look forward to you supporting us in any way that you can.
I have something to say.
Right.
Before we go to Anu, Michael has promised us a big event for our annual day, the first annual day. That would be a joint meeting between 2 clubs. And I have been working with Mike for almost 2 years now. And this COVID has been playing tricks, and he has been in different countries. Everyone, remember, Michael is going to take you to some heights on June, on our first anniversary. Thank you, Michael, for agreeing to that. And we are sure we're looking forward to that. And back to you, Gwen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Bharat.
Anouk, can we hear from you, a little bit from you?
Yeah, now I can say that I know Choi, and I have been one time as a guest also, in the Center Hall with one of the meetings last year. And I'm surprised about how people in such a short period of time, mark down all the notes, really have a good way of giving a speech, or like the table topics. I'm like, wow, they have immediately an answer. It's great. And Naresh and Choi, I both know. they had like last year also like a mingle and meet for people, and I met a few more. So yeah, it's nice to see you all via Zoom.
Thank you. Thank you. Who else? Kian, Tanmay? We'd like to hear from you. Kian, Tanmay? No? Ken? 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 Oh, he got to leave in a minute, but you know, we kind of have a quick feedback if you can, over voice or video. Ken? No? Tanmay? Tanmay, are you there?
When Lian is there.
Yes, Lian. Lian spoke earlier. Yes. So I do hope Lian and Anouk do consider joining our club. We have lots of things, as I've said, planned up. Public speaking is never easy. 16 years ago, I was standing there on stage giving table topics. My legs were shaking like crazy, and I paused for about 27 seconds. Someone told me after that my mind went blank, just went blank. So I've come a long way, and the Toastmasters program has indeed improved not just me, but lots of many people around the world, as Michael can attest to that as well. Us, we are longtime Toastmasters.
Yeah.
Thank great. You. Keep in touch with Choi, I suppose. And let's see, Tanmay seems not to be there. Great to have you. And I suppose we can close it for the night. Thank you very much. And Michael as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Talk to you tomorrow, Lian. Bye, guys. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Joy.
I'm closing it for all now.
Yay! You did it.